everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie Chandler and this is my writing channel. Although you wouldn't know considering how little content I post, but we're gonna be doing a coffee chat today. This is inspired by my very good friend, Lindsay Puckett, who posts these every month. So I'm just stealing from her. Everything I do is in context of Lindsay because I've been following her for so long and she is an incredible human being. She also publishes books. She is with Scholastic. She publishes middle grade and she has a new middle grade coming out soon. But let's talk about me. We're here to talk about me. It's like the silliest thing I've ever said anyway. But having a YouTube channel is a little bit of a narcissistic activity, so we just have to bear with it. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is, of course, writing. So I actually have a lot of exciting things to talk about in the writing space. First thing is that arcs for my debut novel, Backhanded Compliments, arrived. These are my arcs. Look at how beautiful it is. The spine, look at how stunning she is. She is everything I ever wanted. She is absolutely like, I think I got them like the second week, dog noises. I think I got them the second week in February, third week in February. And like, it's just so stunning. I'm obsessed with her. It makes me, like, it literally feels crazy to hold this in my hands. There's also a reel on my Instagram of me talking about this or opening it in a different format. So if you want to watch that on Instagram, you can also do that. I'm at author.katie.chandler. I got 25 of them. A lot of them are going to be going to booksellers and my local indie, and then also some to my friends because they deserve to have our copies because they've been very influential and important in this process of me becoming a published author. I don't think I mentioned, but this book comes out June 10th, 2025. Right there she is. These are stunning. These are pre-edited, obviously. Most of the giveaways and stuff that I'll be talking about in a minute are unfortunately US only. My publisher is a US-based publisher, so no international stuff, but if you follow me, if you subscribe here, if you follow my newsletter, my Instagram, there may be something international happening in a couple of weeks. Just saying, you might want to do that. And as usual, all of the links to get literally everything that you would ever need from me if you're curious about me is down below in the description. And I literally don't even feel like this is my book. Like, and I've looked at it so much, I've read this book so many times, but like seeing it in the format, like feeling it in as an actual book in my hands is like, I don't know how to breathe sometimes looking at this and like, it's insanity. It's crazy. It's beautiful. I need to get like a shelf and like put it here. Or just get like a printout of the cover. This was like the worst time that I could have moved my whole setup. I used to be over there literally by my bookshelf where I had all of my friends' books. I have Dark and Secret Magic, Revelry in the Dark. I could have put my own fucking book there, but did I? No, I didn't. So if you are US based, one just ended. It was a giveaway for 100 ARC copies of Backhanded Compliments. There is another one coming up that is going to be running from March 1st, which is the day this video comes out, through March 30th. There'll be a link in my description to go to the Goodreads page and enter the giveaway. Unfortunately, if you are not in the USA, I'm so sorry. I apologize, which is why I'll be doing some international stuff with my personal copies very soon. If you are in the US and you are interested in my sapphic rivals to lovers tennis rom-com with the soulmate aspect, you can enter a giveaway on Goodreads. And also, oh my god, if you are a NetGalley person, if you're a reviewer of books, it is also available on NetGalley. NetGalley is a website where people can get arcs and review them before the book comes out to get kind of buzz and hype and get some reviews on the pages so that anyone who comes to look at it can kind of read the reviews and see if they would like to read the book and buy it potentially. So there are also arcs on NetGalley, just as an option to put it out there if you would like a digital copy. The giveaway on Goodreads, I believe, are 100 physical copies are being given away. So it is an advanced reader copy, which means that there are some corrections that have been made. I just actually turned in my last final read through of Backhanded Compliments ever. But this is not that copy that I turned in yesterday, because obviously these have been printed before I even made the first pass, which there was several things that I was changing, so forgive any typos. The other exciting news is that I have approved the back jacket copy, so obviously the back of this book is not going to look like this. This is just the art cover, and then it'll have like an actual background and, you know, my picture and the final approved blurb and author description and so much stuff. Everything is approved. It's just like small minor things and sent off. I also had a great marketing and publicity meeting. I met my team again. There's some exciting development, but there's just some things I can't share yet because they're not completely finalized. And I want to have every information, every detail for you when I do tell you, so that you're not like, hey, when is this happening? Rest assured, there are things happening. It's just really, really exciting. I sometimes feel very overwhelmed. Anyway, we're gonna move into now an update on book 2. And I would just like to give a small disclaimer that I am gonna be complaining a little bit and talking more about the process of writing book 2 and how my mental health has affected it. And like, not in the mood to hear someone who's literally having her dream come true, you know, listen to someone complain when they are living the dream, basically. You know, if you're just not interested in that kind of thing right now, I have timestamps down in the description so you can skip to the reading section and the other things that I love. But yeah, those are the exciting things that are happening with Backhanded Compliments. You can obviously enter the giveaway and follow me on Instagram, newsletter, stuff like that, all of the plugs. But now we're going to talk about updates on book 2. So we're going to start with the good news, which is that I hit 60,000 words. I have been writing it since November, and it is unbelievably slow. Like, actually, like, painfully, dreadfully, awfully slow for me. I did pride myself on being a rather fast writer. It's just that this book has been so, they always say your sophomore book is the hardest, and unfortunately I do find that that's true. I was like, oh, that's nonsense. I've written a second book right after another one, but no, the second book is hard. I didn't understand the pressure that there would be until I was actually feeling it. I've talked about that in previous videos and how pressure is a privilege. I am taking it and trying to internalize it as, you know, I care about this thing. I want to make this thing as good as I can make it. But there is obviously, you know, I looked at this literally like almost the final product, and I'm looking at the draft that I have now. It's like not even comparable. It's hilarious how bad I see the first draft. It's not even as bad, it's just not what I wanted. And I think it's not what I want, it's not what I've envisioned. And I think it's twofold, because obviously the writing of this book is going to be very different from Backhanded Compliments for a variety of reasons. The first one being that I'm contractually obligated to write this book and get it out there and give it to my editor, and I want to. That's the thing. I'm not saying, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. I do. However, there is immense pressure that comes with the fact that I don't have all the time in the world to work on this book. It is coming out next year. It is coming out in 2026, and I want and need that to happen. I have to. The process of getting there has been rather painful for me personally. It's a lot of me thinking to myself, oh, I should be writing faster. I should be writing this book faster. Not only because other people write faster, not only because I've written faster in the past, but I also wrote this book in a breakneck speed. There's no pressure on both this book because when I wrote it, I never intended it for it to be published. You know, a fan fiction that I was doing because I was burnt out on fantasy writing, and I just wanted something to cleanse my palate, and then I would dive back into fantasy. And, you know, here we are, you know, 3 years later, and, you know, I'm writing the second book, and second books are hard. But this book in particular, I have had the idea for since about the middle of 2022. So when I revamped Backhanded Compliments and created this new family for my main character, and I revamped all of them, he gave Jules 3 sisters, and so this second book is about one of the sisters. And I was originally intending on writing a draft of this book in January of 2023, and I wrote about 5,000 or 10,000 words and scrapped all of the words uninspired. They were so bad. I didn't feel like writing it. It was so just not the thing that I wanted to be doing, and it was not fun. It was not good. It was terrible. I hated it. I was like, I am burnt out basically because I'd written 500,000 words in 2022. And so coming back to this book, and I've been thinking about it for years. I've literally been planning on this book. I've had so many ideas. There's also just kind of this struggle of getting it to connect and be similar to Backhanded Compliments in the way that they're both, it's a standalone sequel, of course. These characters that are in Backhanded Compliments will show up in book 2, but book 2 is about a completely different character and their struggles are different. And just to be clear, this book has been insanely tough. It's also a throuple book, which means that all 3 characters are in a little love triangle, but all the sides touch and they all end up together at the end. It's been a struggle trying to balance all 3 POVs, trying to get all of their arcs set up and completed. And I know, deep buried in my very bones that this is a first draft and it does not have to be perfect. And if we look at the first draft of Backhanded Compliments, there's some wacky, weird shit in it. I had a fake dating plot between one person, one of the main characters, and another character that is not the other main character. Like my main character and a side character had a fake dating plot going on in the third act, way for the third act breakup. Like, it made no sense. Why the fuck did I do that? I don't know. Obviously, in future drafts, we took that out and tightened up the plot and made it actually like a plot and better, and like a book, a physical book that has, you know, arcs and characters and plot that moves forward. Like, I don't have to make this perfect. And I keep telling myself, it's just first draft, it's just first draft. My brain's like, don't start over. I want to start over. I want to start over. I want to start over from scratch. I want to just try this again, write the whole book again. Maybe I'll make it perfect the second time I write it, which is not true. I just need to get the book fucking finished so that I can actually go through with the whole book in my mind. I can do a reverse outline, and then I can rewrite the book with that reverse outline in mind. And then I'd actually, you know, see the places it needs to be streamlined, needs to be cut, needs to be tightened, things that can go together. But I just don't have the whole picture yet. And not having that whole picture is really frustrating and is really so slow. It's so, because I know certain scenes I want to happen and they just aren't flowing in the way that Backhanded Compliments flowed. And it's just, you know, it's true what they say. Every book that you write, it feels like it's your first book over again. It's like you've never written a book before, and it's so annoying. I've written many books at this point. I think this will be like my 6th book that I've written. And it still takes an unbearable amount of time to write it. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up and stop complaining. The plan, I'm gonna finish this by the end of March. That is my deadline, and then I will have all of April and most of May to revise, and then I give it to my editor on June 1st, right before this puppy comes out, so I can focus purely on her for the next few months and hopefully start writing book 3, which is not contracted, but start working on it at the very least is the plan. I just need to get through this draft, and it is stressful, to be honest. Now that we've talked all about writing, let's talk about reading. My reading has been not so good, unfortunately, because I can't really read while I'm writing. I read 2 books in February, which is more than I did because I've had a lot of doctor's appointments and a lot of sitting in waiting rooms and just reading. I read Triple Sec by TJ Alexander and Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I liked both of those. I don't talk about books I don't like anymore, so you'll never see me if you're like, hey, Katie, you seem to not like any of the books that you ever mention on your channel. It's because it's just a boundary I have as an author. So I really enjoyed both of these. I think I gave them both 4.5 stars. I really liked them. Triple Sec I read as kind of like a hopefully inspiring thing because it's also a throuple. I did like it. I do think the throuple, it did help me with some thoughts about how to incorporate the throuple and how throuples talk to each other and like how polyamory kind of would be talked about in this particular setup, which I think was very helpful for me because I'd never like fully read like an actual book that had polyamory, or like that was like the main focus romance was the polyamory, because I'm mostly reading fantasy. And so if there's any polyamory in my fantasy, it takes a slight backseat because the fantasy elements are the main plot point. Anyway, the only thing with this book, unfortunately for me, is that it is a 1 POV and my book is 3 POVs. So I didn't really get a grasp on how to handle having all 3 POVs. It was just 1 POV. And then Delilah Green Doesn't Care was really, really cute, really, really fun. I really enjoyed the characters. I loved how sapphic it was. I just really was very happy reading it. It was what was voted on Instagram. Again, plugging my Instagram here if you want to help me with reading things when I post them on my story. This was the one that was voted. I finally finished it and I had a great time. So next up on the docket, I have been falling behind on my hope and prayers to read more arcs. I want to read more arcs. So I have 2 arcs that I'm going to be reading. Hopefully the first one is Love and Focus by Lila Lee. This one I think comes out in April, which is Delilah Green Doesn't Care. LOL, great mention there. Meets The Bold Type in this sapphic rom-com where 2 exes reconnect and are given for a second chance at love. And I think it has photography in it, which is really fun. Jules from Backhanded Compliments is a photographer, so I've been reading a lot of photography stuff. Oh, there goes my nail polish. And then the second one is Game Point by Meg Jones, which is a tennis romance, a sweet and spicy friends to lovers romance against the backdrop of the Australian Open, which you know I cannot resist a tennis romance. So those are my 2 arcs, and then I'm hoping to also read Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake, which is the second book in the Delilah Green series. It follows her stepsister, who I really liked in her book. I think I have 2 Kindle Unlimited romances that I've been reading. First one is Stealing Sunshine by Hannah Cohen, which is fake dating sapphic romance about a school teacher and a tattoo artist in their small town. I follow a lot of indie writers and authors on Instagram, and so I try to support as much as I can. If I see a book that I'm interested in, I'll get it, read it on Kindle Unlimited to try to, get more money to indie authors, while also not, I can't buy every book there ever was because my bookshelves are full already. I cannot buy any more physical books. Unless it's by an author I really love. So, and then the other one is Firefight, which is a romantic suspense about an investigative journalist and a firefighter trying to catch a serial arsonist, which I have been kind of into romantic suspenses, or like I think I would be soon. I'll be lucky if I get to 2 of these books. So next month when we do this, I may be like, I didn't read a single book, or I could be like, I read this arc and nothing else, or I just, read all of them because I went absolutely insane trying to finish book 2. Stay tuned to find out. Subscribe. And then finally, let's talk about life stuff. As I mentioned, most of my life has been consumed by the stress that is the fact that I have a book coming out this year and I'm writing book 2, and I just generally am a stressed out person because my life is kind of crazy at the moment with a lot of stuff. Some interesting things that happened this month, in the month of February. I booked my tickets and I am going to Indian Wells Tennis Tournament. It is in Palm Springs, California. You're gonna be seeing a lot of content from that because I'm gonna be vlogging it on my brand new beautiful vlogging camera. Let's hope it doesn't break in Palm Springs. Let's hope it doesn't break or die, at some point. I'm gonna have to bring a lot of backup chargers. So hopefully you will have a vlog of that a couple of weeks from now. But yeah, it's a tennis tournament. This is a research trip because a lot of book 2 takes place in Indian Wells. So I'm hoping it sparks my creativity and I just get a rolling, moving and grooving, and I write all the words that I need to write, and the book comes out amazing and great, and I don't hate it by the end of it. One can hope, right? Also, I'm not wearing my glasses because they're actually a half step bad for me. My eyes got worse. LOL. I bought new glasses. Yeah, my eyes got worse. Probably because I squinted a screen and probably because I stress out so much. I had an eye twitch the other day and I was like, this cannot be happening to me. This is so just one more inconvenience and annoyance on top of the fact that I'm doing all this stuff. We must move, as my friend says. And finally, let's talk about some music, because that's really the only other thing that I've been doing besides writing and working on social media stuff and trying to read some books in some capacity, trying to do something in the book related thing and trying to keep my brain inspired. And so I really actually, this is January into February, I got really into Epic the Musical's newest saga that comes out. I think it's the final saga. It's called the Ithaca Saga. It has a bunch of songs. The Challenge, Hold 'Em Down, Odysseus, I Will Fall in Love with You Again. Those are, I think there's 5. I forget what the 5th one is. It's not my favorite, so I forget what it's called. But I've been listening to it a lot, and it makes me so fucking inspired to like write fantasy again. I just want to write fantasy again so bad. I don't actually. I do and I don't. I want to write fantasy. I want to write contemporary. I just want to write everything all at once. Everywhere, all at once, all the time. That's not the actual title of the movie. Everything Everywhere All at Once is what it is, which I did watch on a plane back in October, and I was silently sobbing through half of the movie, and the woman next to me I think was very annoying. We must move again. And then finally, for the month of February, the only thing that I've been listening to while writing, reading, crafting, social media posts, doing the dishes, literally existing in life, is listen to Tate McRae's new album, So Close to What. It is so good. I love every single song off of it. It's the perfect blend of like some angsty song lyrics with like the hip hop beat and like, you know, the vibes immaculate. They're just, it's catnip for my brain. And I absolutely love that album. It is on repeat. And it also is maybe inspiring book 3, which is not what it's supposed to be inspiring, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. One of these days when I make these videos, it'll be Reputation that I get to talk about, which when will my wife return from war? Like, where's Reputation, Taylor's version? Please give it to me. But yeah, Tate McRae, loved her last album. Anyway, those are all the things that I wanted to chat about. It's been nice to get it off my chest. I feel like I've kind of expelled hopefully some demons. Hopefully I've given you some things. There's the demon itself. Just kidding. That's Boo Bear. He's a story man. Don't forget to be following me on Instagram and my newsletter and all the places so that you can get access to my debut novel, Sapphic Rivals to Lovers romance, adult, about professional tennis players on the professional tennis tour. If you're interested in that, let me know what your favorite thing that you did this month was. I need to know some good things because my anxious little body needs good things. So give me some good things. And if you made it this far in the video and you enjoyed, please leave me, what kind of emoji are we gonna leave? Please leave me the eyeballs emoji. Leave me an eyeballs emoji. Also because I'm Katie and eyeballs. That is my most used emoji. I love the eyeballs emoji. I've been yapping for far too long. My camera's about to die, so I gotta go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.